Everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the Syrian immigrant or refugee crisis or whatever in the United States. In Europe, separate deal. But I've heard the numbers 10,000, I've heard 100,000. I've seen a couple different maps really with basically anywhere that resembles a major city pinpointed as far as where they're going. To me, if it is 100,000, that number sounds like the minimum number that's meaningful, if that makes sense. And it's probably meant to take some heat off the United States from the European Union. Because there's a lot of talk. Basically, you guys caused this problem, and we're dealing with it. So taking 100,000, that kind of sounds like, oh, okay, well, we'll do this, and just enough to say that we've done something. If it's 10,000, I don't know, that's kind of low, I guess. But anyway, here's how I see this actually playing out. Okay, so right now on social media, there's a lot of support for the Syrian refugees. Basically a lot of people posting bullshit memes about, Christ was a Middle Eastern refugee and, all lives matter, prove it, that kind of thing. It's pretty predictable. It's turned into one of those battles just like anything else that happens, once a month, once every couple of weeks, where it's same people, on predictable sides and, with predictable commitment to the cause too. So we'll probably see that going on probably for another week or two. A lot of Republican politicians, like governors of states and so forth, are putting their foot down, saying no, we are not taking these people. You can't send them here. Which, on a side note, there's not a whole lot they can actually do to stop that if the federal government does bring it in. But it plays pretty well on the ground, because I think when it comes down to it, more people are not into the idea of the Syrian refugees coming than are into it. So some of these guys, they look like heroes for standing up to Syrian refugees or whatever. And now as this plays out, and we're starting to see it now, there's going to be the accusations of racism towards these governors, and what's going to happen, and the Republican Party in general, and what's going to happen at that point is they're going to, whoa, we're not racist, we like immigrants. And then they're going to talk about namely Hispanics and the shared family values, shared Christian values, Western values, whatnot. They'll probably even talk a little bit about, say, Korean shopkeepers or Indian, Pakistani engineers in Silicon Valley, so forth. Basically, immigrant success stories, and more words basically say these are the brown people that we like. Might as well take that hashtag now, the brown people we like, and they're gonna just cream themselves pretty much over Hispanic immigrants, and which is also part of the Republican Party's grand scheme as the country becomes less white, to go after Hispanics who don't really vote Republican. They're maybe more likely than other groups to vote Republican, but trying to keep that party viable, which it's kind of a failed strategy. I don't think it's going to work out very well for him. And it's not working out very well for him. But to sidetrack a little bit, say Texas right now, it's a solid red state, but I believe now it is majority Hispanic. Will Texas continue to be a red state as that keeps going? As demographics shift that way still. So anyway, the Republicans will start talking about how much they like immigrants, just not these ones. The Democrats or so forth, they're not going to put their fingerprints on the actual Syrian refugees coming. They're going to keep a little bit of distance from that because, like I said, it probably is unpopular on the ground level. And then there's going to be a call for immigration reform. Like, well, we need to do something just to make sure, these immigrants that are coming in or whatever. And in this process, the Republican Party, they're going to fight tooth and nail against these Syrian refugees. But at the same time, while they're doing that, they're going to make a lot of concessions that wouldn't have been politically viable for them even a year or two ago, that favor more traditional immigrants from Latin America, South Asia, and so forth. And they will look like heroes to everybody that's against immigration of any type, and be able to say like they took a stand for America by keeping these people out or making it very difficult or unwelcoming or whatever for them, but at the same time opening the door to all these other immigrants. I think even though the Republican Party, most Republicans and probably even a lot of Democrats are uncomfortable with the rate of immigration that we've been having, at the higher levels, the Republican Party, they've really been looking for a way to basically fold on this immigration issue. If you notice, there's like a lot of debate, like, at the ground level, people are like, oh, the Republicans are so mean-spirited, they don't want the immigrants to be here, but the actual debate between like the Republicans and immigrants, I almost said Republicans, I guess maybe a Freudian slip that it doesn't really matter which party it is, but the debate on immigration in America isn't whether or not to have immigration, it's basically how much paperwork we're going to make these people fill out when they come here. And that's about all there really is to it. Democrats, they are of course in favor of it, and the Republicans, it's like, whoa, these people, they need to fill out this and pay this fine and this and this. So there really is no mainstream debate for or against immigration. It's just what hoops people have to jump through to immigrate, basically. And this crisis gives the Republicans a good chance to kind of save face a little bit on this, why they fold. That is a big point of contention between a lot of ground level Republicans and the Republican Party. Just the gap on how they feel about immigration. And that's part of the reason Donald Trump is so popular, because some of the things he says, just a second, such as building the wall and stuff, most people probably think that's not going to happen or impractical or whatever, but they like to hear the rhetoric. As far as like the actual number, if it is 10,000 or 100,000, like, yeah, me personally, like, I'm not a huge fan of immigration at this point, but like, considering our population and the amount of people that are already foreign born, like in the United States, what's the difference? I mean, add another 10,000, 100,000, fuck it, pile up, it's not going to make any difference. Granted, yeah, if there's a shooter just like the Paris thing, like, yeah, of course, but, considering, assuming these are just kind of, normalish people, it's not going to make much of a difference, especially if these maps that they have, like, are correct, where they're going to be scattered out between, like, 50 cities, I mean, or whatever, like, what happens if they dump another 5,000 Arabs on New York City or Los Angeles or whatever? It's like, will anybody even be able to tell? And I guess, like, in another sense, there's, maybe it's unfortunate for the Arabs, but they're kind of an easy boogeyman in the United States. You see a lot of people on Facebook or whatever, like, well, God damn it, if they bring these guys here, I'm going to do this or that, or keep my guns loaded just in case Punjab SquarePants comes after me or whatever. But, like, unless you live in, like, certain cities in the United States, you hardly ever even see Muslims. It's just not like that big of a deal here. I don't see any in my day to day life as far as I know. There are some Bosnians here that are Muslim, but they're European Muslims. Maybe it's a little bit different than Saudi Arabian or Syrian Muslim or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm not saying I'm in favor of the Syrian refugees coming in, but it's just not as big of a deal as people are making it out to be. It's just a crisis. The Democrats or left-leaning people or whatever are getting some mileage out of saying, like, oh, look how mean-spirited and racist these Republicans are, and the Republicans have a good opportunity to fold on immigration, something they've been kind of looking for and out for in a while. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's about it. I assume once they actually show up, maybe we'll see maybe a news article here. Here's Ahmed that did something great, or here's the other one. Here's Waleed that has 19 kids and lives on welfare and is a drain on our system and blah blah blah. And there's be kind of the usual back and forth stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. Long story short, I think it's kind of one of those, like the magician. While you're watching this hand's doing. I forgot how that one goes, but anyway, thanks for listening. I will talk to you later.